Okay, hey everybody. Happy Memorial Day. It's Monday, May 25th, 2026. Luther Wilson III here in the Kansas City market, representing for Upside Property Services, Upside Capital, and the affiliate companies. Okay, I appreciate you tuning in. I started a series last week talking more about what I do as a real estate pro, and I covered some of my background, and I kind of led up to today, what I'm doing presently at this time. And I talked about a number of things, and I really wanted to shed some light about the real estate investing process for those who are out there who are currently investing, or maybe you have aspirations of investing at some point in the future. And especially for the service providers out there, because, you know, as some of y'all know, my background as a real estate agent, as a property manager, and as a project manager has been primarily all around serving my fellow real estate investors. And so I did that for years. And I think, you know, I know that it took me a while to kind of figure out what was going to be my lane and how I could do more as a real estate investor. So hopefully this is encouraging. Definitely check out some of the previous videos. But in today's session, I kind of want to talk about what I have experienced and learned and gone through over the last handful of years. And then maybe on my next video, I could talk more about some of the day-to-day, week-to-week type of things that I do as a real estate pro. Okay, so between 2019 and 2023, I did a number of things as a service provider in the real estate space, and it got to a point where I had 6 or 7 different partnerships, and me and my guys, me and my team were running 13 different entities. Okay, so it was a combination of real estate investment companies. There was a lending company. There was a property management company, which had a couple different entities. And then there was my real estate brokerage. Okay, and things quickly started to change after 2023. And since then, I've kind of been unwinding a lot of it, not all of it. And I think I just got carried away with the different opportunities to invest, and then to, you know, do deals for other investors. And then, of course, we were doing renovation projects and property management, and it started to get a little overwhelming. And so I, you know, wanted to pump the brakes and figure out, okay, what's going to be my main thing? Where is the opportunity? What's working that I enjoy doing and could see myself doing in the future? And so that's kind of been the process the last 2 years, is you know, sorting through all the paperwork and the entities and some of the money, and then getting narrowed down on, you know, what's really going to be it for me. And so I know I mentioned it on the last video. As it stands today, I'm still a real estate broker. I have a lending firm, and I still am an investor. I own some investment properties that I've had for quite a few years now. And so those are the 3 main things for me, right? Loaning money to real estate, or at least, you know, sourcing and securing capital for real estate investors. Okay, me as a real estate broker, which as of late, it's been a lot of referrals. Okay, and then me as a real estate investor. Those are my 3 main things. I think I'm pretty good at it. And I do enjoy those quite a bit. Okay, and so as a real estate practitioner It's a lot of networking. It's a lot of connecting, reconnecting with people, following up. It's a lot of, putting yourself out there, which is part of the purpose of this YouTube channel is, to educate, inspire, collaborate, but it's also a free marketing channel to promote my companies and so forth. So a lot of what I do, you know, lately has been the YouTube videos. It's been social media marketing, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Those are my go-tos. And then it's been a lot of reconnecting with people that I've met along the way, because I've done a ton of networking, not as much the last year or two, but definitely between 2012 and 2023. I, have been a member of at least 3 or 4 networking groups here in the Kansas City market, of course. And then during that time frame, I traveled to a few different conferences out of state, real estate conferences of some sort. And then I also, at one point, joined a mastermind, and I was with that group for about a year. And then a few years back, I hired a business coach. Okay, so part of that was not just getting coaching from a business advisor, right? But part of that was networking, because I was part of a small group that met every couple weeks. And even besides the traveling for the conferences, the business coaching, the mastermind group, and there were 3 main networking groups that I was part of here in the Kansas City area that I attended regularly, right? And I paid for those memberships too, okay? And then on top of that, there were various events and meetups that I could attend for free in the Kansas City area, and I could go and meet new people. There a lot of times was either a panel or a speaker that gave a talk, and so I could hand out business cards, and I could exchange social media information with people that I met, and then just add them to the list. So in my phone right now, I think there's close to 1,200 contacts, and that has been an accumulation over the last 12 to 15 years of people that I've met who aren't just in the real estate space. They're business people. They could be salespeople or business development people, or just everyday people. I've been really good about keeping contacts in my phone, and then at where I live, in my bedroom, I have a box full of business cards. So that's another key thing. As an entrepreneur, as an investor, salesperson, doing the networking, getting yourself out there, that is a huge part of what we do. And me, as what I considered an introvert, maybe more so as a former introvert, I really enjoyed challenging myself to see how many one-on-one coffee appointments I could go to, how many phone calls I could make in a week, how many presentations I could do in a month or in a quarter. And I would track all of those things. To this present day, I haven't really been tracking all of those things, but I'm saying over the course of the last 10 to 15 years, I would go through phases, or I would go through periods of time where I would, in a way, gamify the whole thing, right? The calls, the texts, the one-on-one appointments, the presentations, the networking, the education, and the list goes on. And it's been really fun. It's definitely been challenging. There've been a lot of ups and downs, okay? But that is been a big part of what I do as a real estate broker, investor, lender, that sort of thing. And, you know, hopefully again, this will encourage some of y'all out there who are wanting to grow, giving y'all some ideas, maybe some tips on how you can make it happen as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for this session. And I know I'll do at least one more video talking about what I do as a real estate pro and kind of, you know, maybe some opportunities that I see going forward, a little bit about, you know, what I'm looking to do going forward. And then of course, getting more into what I do specifically when I'm working with a client who is an investor, or when I am working with a business partner and we are going in on investments together. Because I know in the last video I mentioned that I have been doing a lot of referrals. So as I do my social media outreach and I do these YouTube videos and I do my social media posts, there's people that respond and they express interest more often than not in doing something real estate related. So depending on what their need is, I can get them plugged in with one of my go-to agents. I can get them plugged in perhaps with one of my contractors, okay? I can get them connected with my mortgage broker, okay? I know I mentioned that on the last video, but I want to, at some point, definitely in the future, talk more about what it actually looks like when I myself take on a client and I have an agreement with them to either sell their property, to, again, as I mentioned before, to represent them as an investor who wants to, you know, assuming that they want to acquire properties, right? And then also, if I'm going to collaborate and work with a business partner and our objective is to purchase and ideally hold investment properties. So that's it for today. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a blessed one. All right, peace.